Hi everybody! I come to you very excited this morning because it is almost Renfaire season and I am so glad to be home in time for my state's Renfaire. Last year I dressed as the live action Little Mermaid. It was a very last minute decision. I had a blast making that costume. I absolutely adored that movie when it came out, so it was very on theme. And as much as I would love to be Ariel again, I thought it would be fun if this year I stayed among the princessy theme and dressed as Aurora. I love Aurora. I love her movie. I specifically love the very end of the film where she's dancing with Philip and her dress is changing colors. I tried to recreate that dress for my sophomore year homecoming in high school, actually. So I don't have like a specific plan because my goal is to thrift as many of the pieces as possible, and I find it's just easier if you don't have an expectation when you go to the thrift store. I am going for more of a traditional Renaissance version of her dress. I believe her movie takes place in the medieval times, so it would be very themed for the Renfaire already. I just personally don't have the funds to completely recreate her dress. I also just spent the past 2 months of my life around like the Walt Disney World version, so I'm not trying to like I don't want to recreate that. And I plan on using the corset I used last year because we all know corsets are the most expensive part of a Renfaire costume. Anyway, we're gonna go to the thrift store. So let's go. They must have just recently like cleaned out the store because every time I come to this specific thrift store, they always have like hundreds of bed sheets and like tablecloths, and they don't have anything to pick from. Let me show you guys. I realized that might look like a lot to you guys, but they usually have like so much more to pick from, so we're probably gonna have to head to a few different thrift stores in the area. Well, I found a couple cute blouses for summer, but I didn't find a single thing for my costume. There are 2 Goodwills very close to this thrift store though, so we are gonna check those out before I go home and call it a complete loss, because I don't want to have to go buy fabric from Joann's. I am literally so shocked. All I need is like the most simple white bed sheets and like an old curtain. That is all I'm asking for, and they didn't have anything. There is one more Goodwill up the road a little ways, so we're gonna check that, and if I don't find anything, we're gonna give it a week and come back and see if the selection is different. This Goodwill is kind of busy right now. We'll see if they have anything. Yeah, they had some like really simple top sheets back there. Just nothing that I'm particularly looking for. Now that I know that they're here, I'll come back if I run out of options, but as of right now, that's kind of like a last resort. So I didn't wait very long at all before I caved and went to Joann's. I started in the specialty fabric section, but everything was kind of expensive, so I headed more towards the cheaper section, picked up some broadcloth, which you'll find the irony in later on. But this is what I got to start out with. I was uploading a YouTube video on my phone while I was making my skirt here, so I couldn't record what I was doing while I was doing it, but it wasn't anything crazy, so I'm just gonna show you. I basically just cut off a bunch of excess fabric that's there on my bed, and I just did some like really basic pleats along the skirt to kind of mimic the way that her skirt folds over. Her skirt is only pleated in 4 spots, so I was going for the same sort of thing here. I folded it a bit in the front and once on each side. I copied the front folds on the back, and then I'm going to use the excess fabric over there to create triangle panels to put in between. Hold on. This is a really bad angle. This is actually like a very poor angle, but I'm gonna be putting these like triangle panels in between the pleats in the front and on the sides to give it more of like a this. It doesn't have much twirl factor to it. So I started off by cutting these big ass triangles out of the excess fabric that I cut off originally, and I cut slits in the dress and I sewed in the triangles very poorly, and then I still had excess fabric, so I went back and I cut even more triangles from the scrap, and then I sewed all of those freaking triangles in the skirt, and it took me forever because I'm an idiot and I didn't just cut big triangles in the first place. Oh, I was so done with the skirt after I sewed all those triangles in, so I was like, okay, like let's go look for more fabric, let's start working on the petticoat. So these are the colors I picked up: some tulle, some organza, some very expensive stuff, but here was me cutting the tulle in half. Yeah, cutting the tulle in half so I could like double the width of the skirt so I could bunch it together at the top to make a sort of circle skirt. So sorry. It's been a minute since we've chat. I had some pretty bad mid-project anxiety. If you know, you know. I unfortunately could only muster up the energy to work on the project. So I recorded what I could. I have unfortunately done a lot since we have last spoken. So let's go over what you missed. I was freaking out so bad. I was like, I've spent so much money on supplies already and like I don't have a plan and this doesn't look good. And I was just like, I was just totally freaking out. But anyway, we have the petticoat, which I have not finished, but this is the rough concept. I have these 2 layers of tulle here, which I might thin out into one and just sew the frills onto 1 layer of tulle. This is gonna peek out from the bottom of the skirt when I eventually actually turn it into a skirt. This darker pink has more of a shine to it, and then this lighter pink, which kind of looks like really white, but it's like a blush pink. This has got more of a sparkle to it, if you can kind of tell. She has come a very long way. We are really proud of her. I'm obsessed. She's wrinkly. Just, okay. This lace moment, I thought this was so genius. You ever do something and you're just like, I'm fucking genius. This lace little moment was that for me. I wanted to emulate, the top of her skirt. It's a very iconic part of her dress, but I didn't want to do a replica. And like I said, I wanted it to be like a more Renfaire version of her dress. And I thought like, draping fabric in like a triangular way would kind of like achieve that vibe. And I think I have successfully done that. I'm gonna shorten these side pieces because they're just a bit long, that it goes down quite a lot on me. I still need to hem the bottom. I just have it pinned up right now. It's been poking the shit out of me. But we did successfully install a zipper. Ignore this. Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna be paying attention. But there is a zipper. Is it crooked? That's none of your business. The gorgeous moment that she is. Here is, ooh, hey girl. The stays, I think they're more appropriately called. I wanted to just be a little extra, and I decided very spontaneously to bead the top of this and just add a little bit of glitz and glam. I'm obsessed with it. I love how it turned out. It really has nothing to do with, like, her dress doesn't have this at all whatsoever, but I don't care. And I think I'm gonna add some more on the back for some consistency. But yeah, that's everything I've done so far. I have ordered contacts, have not committed to the wig. I want to go blonde for it, but I'm still not sure how I feel about a wig. Here's my problem though, ladies and gentlemen and theys. I can't imagine there's a lot of guys here, but if you're a guy here, hi, thank you for coming. Do you see the issue here? Or are you picking up what I'm putting down? None of these blues are the correct color blue. I very stupidly, idiotically, unintelligently, that's not a word, thought that the hue, the specific blue that her dress is in the movie, I was mistaking like a dusty blue for like a purplish shade. So I did, okay. So like my issue kind of started with picking up the wrong shade of blue at the fabric store. So this is entirely too dark. This is too blue. It needs to be more of a dusty color. It's too bright. The corset is actually the only thing that is like kind of right, except it's just too light. The skirt needs to be lighter. This needs to be darker, and this needs to be darker. How am I going to do that? I don't know. I also have already sewn this onto the skirt, so how am I gonna darken this and lighten this? I don't know. So that's where we are currently. I think I have to, unfortunately, seam rip her. I have fastened this on so well, like I really don't want to have to seam rip this whole thing, but it's either that or paint it or dye the whole thing. If I just went into this with a plan, I'm not redoing the skirt. I'm just not. I'm gonna go to the fabric store and maybe buy like a sheer fabric, kind of like what I used for the petticoat. That's a slightly lighter blue to just go on top of this. It might be cute to add like another layer, and maybe I'll do like a little frill at the bottom or something. I don't know quite yet like exactly what the plan is, but like when do I ever? And then the corset. Here's my thing. Again, I got a little ahead of myself, and before I completely was satisfied with how everything looked, I beaded this already, and I don't want to take the beading off, but I think if I'm gonna dye it again, I'm gonna have to take the beading off, and I don't want to do that. If I can get the skirt to like match this color-wise, maybe I'll be okay with this, the shade. I don't know, like, is that the right Aurora blue? I think it's just too purple, and it shouldn't be purple at all. So that's where we are. And I'm back, and hopefully I'll be better at, I don't know, taking you guys along with me, because that was the point of this. Anyway, just sorry about that. What's funny?
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Joann's in, where is this?
I don't know.
There were very slim pickings, but I went and I grabbed the broadcloth that I bought for the skirt that I already have made, and I laid this over it, and it kind of fixes it a little bit. So this is what we're going with. It's been a few days since I got this fabric. I got this for 70% off, which is such a slay. I only paid like $6 for 2 yards of it. I'm finally forcing myself to like get back into this project because it's genuinely been weeks since I've touched it. So I'm gonna start seam ripping the lace. So instead of seam ripping the lace off, because turns out I'm lazy, I thought it would just be easier to just dunk the whole like neck of the skirt, the whole top of it, in bleach to try to lighten the lace a little bit. Let me show you. This is the bucket of bleach, and here is the lace. It kind of like ran a lot, but this is all gonna be covered. So if this lightens, it's not the end of the world. I actually moved it on the ground so it could dry more evenly. So I'll check back in on it in a little bit and we'll see what it looks like. I'm lounging by the pool right now while also keeping an eye on how the skirt is lightening. Let me show you. It bleached it just a little bit at the top here, but honestly, like, I think it looks totally fine. And I'm loving the color. I think it lightened just enough. I'm gonna let it sit out here for a little while longer. We'll see what it looks like when I go back in and compare it to everything else. Period. You see how that matches? These colors are all in like the same family now. I fucking hate organza. I hate organza. I hate organza. I hate them. What you didn't see is me sewing the skirt, attaching it to the base skirt that I have here. It was uninteresting. I promise you don't want to watch me do that, baby. I've got like the excess organza down there. I've cut a slit in the skirt, and now I'm sewing panels into the skirt to mimic the skirt underneath with all the panels, so it has like a lot of flow when I spin, because I don't know what I'm doing and I hate organza. I'm hand sewing the organza together. Let me show you. Is this the best method? Probably not, but this is what I'm doing, and it's gonna take me fucking forever to sew 4 of these onto the skirt, so I'm not gonna show it to you, but just trust that it's happening, and I'll show you when I'm done. She looks really, really good. I only added 2 panels so far, one in the front and one in the back. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna go in and add one on each side as well. I didn't think I needed it at first because these panels are like huge compared to what I was doing on this skirt. Like, I thought it was gonna be enough, but it's just not wide enough yet. Guys, I finally hemmed my skirt. It's no longer pinned. I'm no longer poking myself. I know, I need to iron the skirt. I will. I swear I'll do it before the Renfaire. I think I'm gonna take a break from this little number and like work on the petticoat, because I have not touched the petticoat in a minute. But it like finally sunk in that the Renfaire is in a week and a half, so like I actually need to like get this finished like soon, because there are other pieces I haven't even started on, so ta-da, bitches. This is what we are working with currently. Yeah. There's a lot going on here. I don't know how I feel quite yet. I think I just need to see the whole thing put together. Oh, I did get my contacts in the mail yesterday, my purple colored contacts. And they look a lot different in person, but I'm sure when I put them on, it'll be fine. I haven't hemmed this most outer layer, but I have added 4 panels. You could see there's 2 on my sides rather than just like 1 on the front. That's simply because I ran out of fabric. Is it perfect? No. Would have done that differently, but I don't care. I'm kind of getting a little fed up with the whole sewing thing. I think it's giving a little Cinderella though, with like the shiny, the shimmery fabric. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna have to really go all out with the accessories so people get the picture. Ooh, I think maybe I should wear the sleeves like this. Maybe I'll just sew the sleeves down in the back like this, so they kind of like do a little like side swoop moment. Sorry, I look crazy. It's storming outside. I just woke up, but I was brainstorming as I was falling asleep last night, and I think I had a pretty decent idea for what I wanted to do for her crown. I have a bunch of crowns that I've bought on like Shein over the past several years, so I've got a bunch, and I was thinking of just wearing one of these, but as we've kind of collectively decided as a community, I definitely need to wear Aurora's crown to make it more obvious that I am Aurora specifically. I got some wire, and last night I was kind of like experimenting with, well, this one's kind of been out of shape. At first I was just kind of like putting wire over these pre-existing gold crowns and thought maybe I could just fill it in and embellish in like the shape of her crown. It wasn't looking good. But anyway, I was like experimenting last night with wire, and I was just thinking about it as I was drifting off to sleep. Kind of just while experimenting today, have come up with, I'll show you what I've got going on. Basically, I have bent very crappily. Like, this is not great wire work. I have this old shimmery gold fabric in my Etsy shop when I used to make Marvel themed Mickey ears. I'm sewing the gold fabric onto the front, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out because I feel like it's gonna go well. How funny, like I have gold thread as well. Like I just kind of had everything I needed for it. So I've got the fabric sewn onto the crown. I think it looks so good so far. My plan from here is to like trim the fabric as close to the wire as I can get it, and then like fold it over and then like sew it again, so like it kind of like covers the wire like that. And I think it's honestly coming along a lot better than I had originally planned, especially for something that I just kind of threw together this morning. It's the next day. I just finished the crown. The back was a little raw looking, like you could see all of like the exposed edges of the fabric folded over and like the wires and stuff. So I sewed a piece of fabric onto the back. It's a little bumpy, but I just wanted, you know, from far away it looks fine. I just didn't want, you know, the back to look so unfinished. For the first crown I've ever made, I think this looks pretty incredible. I did my nails earlier. The outfit is so blue, the vibe might get lost on some people, so I thought I'd make my nails pink. And it's a little more shimmery is not neutral at all, but pink is definitely more neutral than a blue. I think it's super cute. My wig came in the mail, so we're gonna try it on together. I saw a girl on TikTok open this wig, and she basically just put it on her head, and it looked really good. I'm gonna hope that the same thing happens for me. She did trim it a little bit, but I have high hopes. I feel like cosplay wigs always look ugly as fuck, and cosplayers have to put like the most effort in to make them look good, and I just don't have that time or patience. I need this to look like it's coming out of my head. I need this to be giving scalp. I need this to be giving what wig? I don't have a wig stand, and that's why I have to put it on to style it. I don't mess with wigs enough to justify buying a wig stand. Holy cow. Not my fucking brown ass roots. This is so lace, you can literally see the band for my wig cap. What am I gonna do? Y'all, this is giving Dolly Parton. Let me grab a hairbrush. Once I have the bangs, the Aurora bangs, and I have my makeup on, and with the dress and everything, I think this is gonna be iconic. I still need to style the bangs, haven't done that. I'm not ready for all that right now. However, I do have time to go through and thin out the wig, so that's what we're doing right now. I have it just sitting on the post at the end of my bed because I don't have anywhere else to put it, and I don't feel like putting it on right now. If you were ever wondering, I fucking hate the tight little ringlets that they have in her hair at like the Disney parks. It's so ugly. It's not at all what it looks like in the movie. And I wish it was like had like a 50s curl to it, you know, like those big curls, which this still isn't quite what I'm talking about, but I think this looks so much better, like where it's straight at the top and then like the curl starts kind of at like the bottom of the hair. What? This, oh my god, this wig looks so good. It has been brought to my attention that this is the entirely wrong color for Aurora. She has like a much more honey blonde going on. Unfortunately, on Amazon, this was the best I could find. It kind of bothers me that it's not her color blonde, not enough to like go out of my way to buy a worse quality wig for the sake of color. Ryan and I are going thrifting to try to find stuff for his costume. I realized just a couple days ago that like I haven't even started on his costume because I've just been so focused on my own. This is insane. This wig is so dense. Hey y'all, she's looking a lot better than she did the other day. I have spent a lot of time thinning out the wig. As you can probably tell, I realized the reason why it looked so fucking stupid when I put it on the first time, besides all the volume, was because this is like a lace front. Like it's something I need to install. Like I have it glued down, like I have my cap glued down. Not the best, but you know, gotta practice for the real thing, right? So I have like the cap glued down and it covers my hair so much more. It's still kind of sticking up on the sides. I didn't glue the cap on the sides just because I'm an idiot and this is the first time I've ever done that. So you can still kind of see my brown hair on the sides, but it looks so much better. The curl is just perfect. This is exactly what I imagined in my head when I thought Aurora wig, and I'm kind of getting used to the color. You know, I'm making this costume my own thing, and did I want it to be a little more accurate? Yeah, but practice makes perfect, and YOLO, I don't know. We gotta do the whole bang situation, which I've been very nervous to tackle. I've had this pinned up because I didn't want to thin it out because I really want the bangs to be thick and fluffy. I'm thinking I'm gonna cut them long and then put them in the rollers and then steam them and then style and cut more from there. I'm really nervous to cut the bangs because like if I fuck this up, there is no saving it. I don't know what I think the shearing scissors are gonna do for me. Okay, you know what? That actually did make me feel a lot better. Longer. I can't see anything. I hope I haven't fucked up the wig. Oh, ow. Fuck. Or maybe I should I do this in two? Yeah. Oh shit, what am I gonna, hold on. There's hair all over the place. I haven't picked it up after I thinned it out more this morning. Ryan and I went to the thrift store yesterday and we found him some brown pants. His costume is going to be a lot less involved than mine is, and that wasn't originally the plan, but I just spent like so much money on my costume that I just kind of gave up a little bit on his. That's what we want. Am I gonna get burned? I have to know what just happened. Okay. I think I'm done steaming it. We're gonna let it sit for a little bit and we'll check back in and see what the curls look like. Listen, I know this doesn't look good. I'm not wearing it for aesthetic purposes right now. I just need to have it on my head so I can style the bangs. Okay, not off to a great start. Okay, so it did do something. I think this will curl in like this, and this one will curl like this. Sorry, I've gone completely mute. I am just really focused. I'm gonna go like section by section across the wig and just like cut it and style it, and then when I'm done, I will get the hairspray. Okay, this is as styled as it's gonna get on my head. I think I'm gonna have to take it off to spray it enough to get it to stick, really. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But this is what it's looking like right now. I'm gonna do a little bit more styling off camera probably, but this is the wig as of right now. I think this looks incredible. So right now I am trimming the sides of the triangle lace bits on my skirt. Previously, like way down here, and I think their volume was adding to the Cinderella vibe people were getting. So I'm cutting them and making everything look a little more angular because her whole aesthetic is very sharp. You could see here on the front, I kind of pulled it down and I sewed it to make it a little more taut and give it that sharpness, but it has left me with this lace right here, and I have an evil idea brewing that I'm going to show you guys if I execute it properly, so wish me luck. So I just sprayed it with hairspray to make the lace a little more stiff. I think you guys can see the vision. I love it, and I'm so glad I decided to add this. I've only done one side, so I'm going to go back and do this tomorrow, but I think this was the perfect finishing touch to the top. So I wanted to do a test run of the makeup and the wig because I'm still not super used to the whole wig thing. This is what we have. Let me set you guys down. So yeah, I'm glad I did a test run because it's not perfect. I don't love how much of my hair you can see, but I think for the most part it looks pretty good. I am really proud of how the bangs turned out. Could they be better? Yeah, obviously, but this is the first wig I've ever styled, so I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Practice makes perfect, right? The crown, I think, looks great, even though it's not particularly film accurate. I am really in love with like the super pink toned makeup because her skin is rather pink in the movie, but I don't have pink undertones, so to make up for it, just like heavy blush, heavy eyeshadow. I used a super dark lip gloss, which is recently my favorite lip gloss, if you weren't wondering, but now you know. So this is just everything, I fear. I don't have lashes on. I plan on wearing falsies on the day. I think that's my plan as of right now, but my mascara is running low, so I don't really feel like wasting what little I have left. Oh, I have the contacts in too. You can't like really tell. Maybe I should have gone for a stronger contact. I don't know. I'm okay with the color. I didn't want anything super overpowering, even though my makeup is very campy. Whatever, you know, here we are. I told you guys with the whole getup the wig would look less crazy. I also worked on my outfit relentlessly today. It is completely finished. The only thing left I have to do is dye those white bloomers there pink, which I'm gonna do off camera. I hemmed the outer layer of the skirt so she's all sturdy and safe now, no more fraying, and that is it. And that is the end of preparations. The Renfaire is 2 days away. I have plans tomorrow to help my friends with their costumes, and I have some exciting stuff this weekend before the Renfaire, but this is where I'm gonna leave you for this video. I'm so sorry to do this to you guys, but I am going to be making a separate video with Renfaire content with the completed look, simply because I do all of the filming and editing on my phone and we are running out of storage. And so if I want enough space to film at the Renfaire, I need to get rid of all of the hours of footage I have from making this costume. I will have the videos out back to back, so you can immediately go from this one to the next one. So go on over to that video and check out my Renfaire vlog. Thank you so much for following me along on this little DIY journey. I started on this costume over a month ago and we've come a long way, and this has developed into a much bigger financial commitment than I had originally planned, but whatever, here we are, and I am super proud of the outcome and I can't wait for everyone to see the completed look. I love you lots, make good choices, and I'll see you back here soon.